In Leongatha, Victoria, a family lunch in July 2023 turned into a national tragedy. Erin Patterson invited her estranged husband's parents, Gail and Don Patterson, and their relatives for a meal. The centerpiece was a beef Wellington, unknowingly containing deadly death cap mushrooms. Within hours, the guests fell violently ill, leading to their urgent hospitalization. Despite medical efforts, Gail, Don, and Heather Wilkinson succumbed to the poisoning. Ian Wilkinson, the sole survivor, faced a long recovery. The community was left in shock, grappling with the sudden loss of respected members. This tragic event left a lasting impact on everyone involved. Ian Wilkinson's survival was a testament not only to his own resilience, but also to the dedication and expertise of the medical professionals who fought tirelessly to save him. Against overwhelming odds, he clung to life, determined to overcome the devastating effects of the poison. He battled the effects of amatoxin poisoning, a deadly toxin that ravaged his body and destroyed his liver, leaving him in critical condition. Every hour was a struggle as doctors worked around the clock to stabilize him and manage his failing organs. A liver transplant became his only hope for survival. Miraculously, a matching donor was found just in time, offering a glimmer of hope when all seemed lost. The transplant was a race against time, and the surgical team moved swiftly to give Ian a second chance at life. The successful surgery marked not just the beginning of his physical recovery, but also a turning point in his fight for life. Each small milestone in the hospital was a victory, celebrated by both Ian and the medical staff who had grown invested in his journey. After weeks of uncertainty, Ian finally emerged from the hospital, but as he stepped outside, he was met by a world forever changed by loss and tragedy. His beloved wife Heather and close friends had not survived, leaving behind an emptiness that no amount of medical intervention could heal. The void in his life was profound, and the pain of their absence was a constant companion. Ian now faced the daunting challenge of rebuilding his life amidst overwhelming grief. Each day brought new reminders of what he had lost, and the future felt uncertain and lonely. The emotional toll was immense, as he struggled to find meaning and purpose without his partner by his side. Grief became a daily battle, testing his spirit in ways he had never imagined. Memories of happier times, once a source of comfort, were now tinged with sorrow. Yet, through the pain, Ian found the strength to persevere, holding on to the love and memories that remained. Ian's journey highlighted the extraordinary strength required to survive not only the physical effects of poison, but also the deep emotional wounds of grief and loss. His story is a powerful reminder of the resilience of the human spirit. The deaths of Heather, Gail, and Don shook the communities of Korumburra and Leongatha. They were cherished members, leaving a gaping hole in the community. Memorial services drew crowds as people shared stories and offered support. The tragedy underscored the fragility of life and the dangers of foraging mushrooms. Erin Patterson, the lunch host, became central to the police investigation. Inconsistencies in her story raised suspicions about the poisoning. The case served as a grim reminder of the risks of wild mushroom foraging. The community learned this lesson at the highest cost, losing 3 of their own. Erin Patterson's arrest sent shockwaves through the small community, leading to a high-profile trial in the Victoria State Supreme Court that captured national attention. The courthouse became a focal point for both the media and local residents, all eager to witness the proceedings unfold. Inside the courtroom, prosecutors laid out a detailed case, arguing that the poisoning was not an accident but a calculated act, closely tied to Erin's growing estrangement from her husband. The prosecution presented evidence and witness testimony, painting a picture of motive and opportunity. After weeks of emotional testimony and intense legal arguments, the jury reached a verdict. In July 2025, Erin was found guilty of 3 counts of murder and 1 of attempted murder, a decision that reverberated throughout the courtroom. The verdict confirmed the community's deepest fears, holding Erin accountable for the tragic deaths. Outside the courthouse, emotions ran high as families and neighbors reacted to the news, some expressing relief, others still in disbelief. During the sentencing phase, the prosecution argued forcefully for a life sentence without the possibility of parole, emphasizing the gravity of the crime and the need for justice to be served in its fullest measure. Justice Beale, presiding over the case, described the crime as truly horrendous, acknowledging the immense suffering inflicted on the victims and their loved ones. The judge's words underscored the seriousness of the offense and the lasting impact on the community. The defense, meanwhile, requested that Aaron be given a chance for parole, citing a questionable diagnosis of Asperger's syndrome and arguing for leniency based on her mental health and personal circumstances. Throughout the legal process, the court aimed to deliver justice not only for the victims but also for their grieving families, who had endured months of uncertainty and pain as the case unfolded. For the community, the trial's conclusion brought a sense of closure and reassurance that the crime would not go unpunished. The case became a powerful reminder of the importance of accountability and the enduring pursuit of justice. At the sentencing, Ian Wilkinson delivered a poignant and deeply moving victim impact statement, his voice trembling with emotion as he addressed the court. The room was silent, every eye fixed on him, as he spoke not only for himself, but for all those whose lives had been forever changed by the tragedy. He described his life after the loss of his beloved wife, Heather, painting a picture of quiet sorrow and emptiness. Ian spoke of feeling half alive, as if a part of him had been taken away, leaving behind a void that could never truly be filled. The memories of their life together haunted the empty rooms of his home, and every day was a struggle to find meaning without her presence. In his statement, Ian did not shy away from expressing his anger and pain. He accused Erin Patterson of a callous disregard for the lives of her guests, highlighting the deep sense of betrayal and heartbreak that he and others felt. The courtroom felt the weight of his words, the rawness of his grief impossible to ignore. Yet, despite the overwhelming pain, Ian made a choice that surprised many. He chose to forgive her, a decision rooted in his deep Christian faith and personal conviction. He spoke of forgiveness not as an easy path, but as a necessary one for his own healing and peace. Ian carefully distinguished between forgiving Erin for the loss he personally endured and the broader consequences of her actions, the lives she took, and the families she shattered. His forgiveness was not an erasure of pain, but a step toward letting go of hatred. He expressed hope that Erin would use her time in prison to reflect deeply on her actions, to confront the harm she had caused, and ultimately to become a better person. Ian's words were not just for her, but for anyone struggling with the burden of anger and loss. His message was one of compassion and humanity, making it clear that forgiveness did not mean condoning her crimes or forgetting the suffering she caused. Instead, it was about choosing empathy over bitterness and hope over despair. Ian's words offered a powerful lesson in forgiveness, echoing through the courtroom and touching the hearts of all who heard them. His courage to forgive in the face of unimaginable grief resonated far beyond the walls of the court. As the legal chapter closed, Ian's message stood as a lasting reminder that even in the darkest moments, hope and healing are possible through compassion and forgiveness.